B.Scott from Hiram Club.
All right, Brandon Scott. Let's get the EA Sports going here.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
You want to sign who?
I want to live good, man.
You want to sign who?
You want to mock things, and all I want to do is live good.
Okay.
I feel like we're in a position now where we should be living good.
All right, what do you want to do? Tell the people what you want to do. 713-572-4610. Let me have it or let B.Scott have it. On the YouTube, Twitch, text line. Tell the people what you want to do. Go ahead.
Saw Mike Evans sitting courtside at Toyota Center last night, man. And I wasn't on this before, but
Oh, he's never done that before.
Hey, but once it's right there, like, he's never done it before while he was in the conversation of being available for a Texans team that's actually a contender. Like it's never been a thought. And then there he is sitting there looking like a taller Fred VanVleet. And I'm just like, oh, man.
Like a taller Fred.
I mean, dude, I was glad they were in the same building at the same time because now I know. Now the doppelganger accusations can be put to rest. But nah, man, it's like I feel like the Texans are in a point, and I've dismissed it. And then I just started thinking about it last night. I'm like, okay, so why not? Like I understand the previous arguments for why you wouldn't pursue a free agent like Mike Evans.
Hold on, bro. I'm home team. I'm home team. Go ahead. All right, you're right. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right. So we're playing Madden. It's Madden.
All right, so
we got the Madden music going.
So let me ask you.
Damn, look at these alternates.
Can we not?
Uniforms.
Can the Texans not sign Mike Evans, or would it not be smart? Which one is it? Is it that they can't, that you don't think they can do it, or that you don't think they should do it?
Look, I like Mike Evans. Would I be opposed to it? No. I believe that overpaying a running back and perhaps getting a receiver on day one or day two, with the way that this draft is laid out. Like, I'm not playing the whole.
Wait a minute. What about overpaying a running back? Because I don't.
No, I want to overpay a running back.
But see, I
don't even look at it as overpaying.
I'm looking at it almost in the same way though. I feel like you can get Derrick Henry on the cheap. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I like Derrick Henry on the cheap if you can get that. I'm not exactly sure what his market is going to be, but if you can get him on a decent 1 to 2 year deal, I feel like then you can overpay on the receiver.
Right.
And so I'm looking at it like, no, you can't go get Saquon Barkley and Mike Evans and go find you a defensive tackle.
You could if you wanted to get crazy.
Maybe you could, but then we're talking about EA Sports. But my strategy, the way I'm looking at it in my head is, you can get a dynamic running back
adjust that weather
for a reasonable price.
Play in the snow.
You don't think so?
No, I'm just adjusting the weather.
That's what I'm saying. On this EA Sports game, we can adjust the weather, play in the snow, hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, baby. Hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. And this time when you go to Baltimore, you don't just got Nico Collins and a bunch of dudes. You know what I'm saying? If Tank Dell breaks his leg blocking on a run play near the goal line for some reason, then you got another receiver.
I definitely think you need receivers. I'm with you. I think the elite running back market is where you need to start. And I think the draft is set up to where into the first round, second round, third round, there's going to be some dogs at wide receiver. Yep. Last year it was tight ends.
Yep.
And you wanted tight end, I wanted tight end.
Yep.
They ended up trading the second round pick, which was kind of the money spot. This year
could have got one win at 34. They had the 33 pick.
Sam Laporta, he was good.
That happened.
But yeah, I just think that the wide receiver, I don't know that you need.
Here's how I would
know how Mike Evans works.
It's not necessary. I want to say
Go
that.
ahead.
But it was like, hey, drink with me for a minute.
Okay,
you're living in this space now where you're a realistic team with real money, and somebody would want to come here. Mike Evans obviously being from Galveston, all of that on top of it. So like it does compute, if you will.
Here's where I fall with this, because I'm the guy that says spend smart big money. Smart big money is what I want Cal and Hannah to spend money.
Right.
But my thing is, and I love Mike Evans, not just because he was great at A&M, because he's a great dude,
awesome dude.
I've had dinner with Mike Evans.
Look at you.
He is,
and I've heard all the same things.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is very rare at the wide receiver position. I love Mike Evans. Yeah. Here's why I kind of am not all in on Mike Evans. There are at least two bigger priorities that you can spend big money on.
Priorities?
Yes, priorities. You need a running back more than you need a wide receiver.
You need running backs.
But you can get them. You can get them.
But not that guy.
They're cheap, though.
Yeah, not. They're
cheap, man.
You can get a mid-level running back, and we've been down that road.
No. Go get a good one.
Yes.
I'm with you,
Saquon.
Lopez. Okay.
He's 26. He's 4 years younger than Derrick Henry.
Jacobs.
It's Josh Jacobs. So in terms of priority, okay, let's not put any names with anything.
I got you.
The highest priority in free agency, if you can do it and spend smart big money, wide receiver is no better than third on my book. Number one would be obviously running back. Number two would be either an inside linebacker or a safety. You need those more. And you need proven commodities there more.
Well, I would disagree about the linebacker and safety. I mean, the safety thing, it put a pin in that. I would, but in terms of priority, I think wide receiver and running back. I'm with you on running back. I think those two are in a class of their own. I think they need to do something on the defensive line as well. Obviously, with Jonathan Grenard, the question there, the Sheldon Rankins being gone, all of that. So I think that's a big priority as well. But I would say the difference, I think, in the way that we look at it here, Lopez, I feel like you can fix your running game and your issues in the running game for cheaper than you can for getting the difference in getting a weapon like Mike Evans.
Part of it for me, Landry, is I'm just tired of mid-level running backs.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for more than a decade. Like, go down the list.
It's
Carlos
a bargain
Hyde,
too. It's also a buy low thing.
David
man.
Johnson.
It's such a buy low thing.
Yes, they've tried to get a mid-level running back at a good price. It's never worked.
The impact is, I don't think the impact of a really good running back has gone down. I think the value of the running back.
Look at the playoffs.
Yeah, and the fact that you have so many on your roster now has made it. But I think right now, like you got to get the running back.
Okay, so let me ask y'all.
You can get both. Let's be honest.
That's my follow-up question.
You can get both.
Why not be greedy?
If you want.
What is the downside in being greedy?
Well, now you're speaking my language.
Because going back to my original point here, you are in a position now to where like the excuses or reasons for why you wouldn't be interested in going all in and spending all the money that you have. The reason why you would spend money to keep an offensive coordinator and keep your quarterbacks coach and not want them to leave. Like there's reasons for that. You're in a position now to where you're serious. So if you're serious, then why not do serious things?
Hey man,
I mean they're going
to have to ask me twice.
Yeah, and I mean they just have to make the offense better. That's really the problem. They have to put as many weapons around CJ as possible. And that's not, hey, let's go. Like the last time, you said, Lopez, you brought up the JJ time, the last time they were in this situation. I think the last time they were in this situation was 2019. And what did they do in that offseason? They traded DeAndre Hopkins. They signed Randall Cobb. They signed Eric Murray. They gave Whitney Merciless a lot of money.
Brought Brandon Cooks in, I think.
They built the offense around David Johnson. Like, that's...
Well, the reason I went back to 2010-11 is because that's when they actually went for it.
Yeah.
You know, in 2018-19, they were just dumb.
But I don't even know they were going for it. I just think they were smart.
Both.
Yeah, I just think they were really smart.
Going after Daniel Manning and Jonathan Joseph was going for it.
Yeah.
But going back...
Some would say Asamoah. Like, I look at Mike Evans as more of an Asamoah type signing than that. Is that fair?
An Asamoah signing? Why would you think he's going to bomb out?
I mean, he's old, dude. Like, I'm not, and he's gonna be very, very expensive. Like, if you ask me, like, I like Mike Evans, and I'm saying this about a guy who could be ageless. Like, I mean, he has 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, but like, if you're telling me that we're going back to 2011, 2010, and we're talking about Jonathan Joseph and Danielle Manning instead of Nnamdi Asamoah, for me, like if we're making that comparison, Mike Evans is more Nnamdi Asamoah, and like
just in terms of value.
Yeah, the top running back, and then drafting a receiver or whatever would be more of the Manning / Joseph.
Yeah, I guess I'd rather just not make the comparison. Mike Evans is just better at what he does than than Asamoah was at what he did.
Not. Before, but
no, he made all pro the year.
Before that, he was the man.
No, I get it, but
he was the man.
But I felt like the word, and I don't want to get off on a side note here, but it felt like the word on him was that he was kind of a system guy once he left there. You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't travel around all that. Yeah,
and I'll be damned if Mike Evans will ever be called. I mean, that dude is just
that's how many different quarterbacks.
He's that guy, and so to me, like I would just be willing to go all in and make the investment. And back to the point about the priorities. Let's just put the defense aside for a second.
Yeah.
Because we got C.J. Stroud here. We got Bobby Slowick coming back. Okay. We got a couple of weapons coming back, right? You know, with Nico Collins and with Tank Dell. But I think it's running back is absolutely a priority.
Yes.
But also, we talked about this before. everything after Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and God forbid one of those guys gets hurt like they did last year.
It's open.
And I said this.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys coming back that are not named Nico Collins or Tank Dell. All 3 of them should be up for a roster, but should be fighting for their roster
I agree.
spot. And with that being the case, you should be bringing in the type of guys that should shake up that room.
I'll say the same thing about Mike
Either
Evans.
going to the top or being fit in as the 3rd guy.
I'll say the same thing about Mike Evans that I do about Derrick Henry. If they sign him, I'm all in. I'm all in. But priority-wise, I wouldn't go there.
And I'm going to say this because for as much as we were about, Bryce before the draft, starting really, I would say a year ago tomorrow. A year ago tomorrow, I kind of transitioned my philosophy in the draft. And my philosophy, if you remember this, was whatever D'Amico wants to do. If D'Amico doesn't want to draft a quarterback, I'm all in. Whatever D'Amico wants to do. And that might sound like a cop-out. I'm still going to have opinions. Like, I still want Saquon Barkley. There's some receivers, like, under the radar that I actually think Bobby Slowick could have fun with. I'll give you those at noon. But for me right now, in a world we've been living in for such a long time, for damn near a decade, where there were trust issues with this organization, call it overtrust, call it whatever you want. But for me, if D'Amico and Nick Caserio want to sign Mike Evans, I'm on board. If they want to sign, I mean, we'll still talk about it, but I'm kind of on board, and that's really where my mind has gone the last year or so. I don't feel like they're stupid. I also feel like B.Scott, there's kind of a margin for error here, where I don't know that there's any like free agent move they can make that's like going to set them back. Like, there's some free agent moves you can make where it'll set you back. Like if you do sign like a big name guy, like let's say you overpay a cornerback and you make him the highest paid corner in the league, or you overpay a left tackle and he ends up flopping. Like I feel like they're set up such to where like no move is like going to set them back. None of these potential moves, these splashes are going to set them back at all.
It's actually a good point because they're set at pretty much all of the necessary, I wouldn't say all of, but most of the necessary spots. Quarterback.
The expensive spots, too.
Now, they got to figure out the Jonathan Grenard situation, but mostly we're talking about quarterback, the expensive spots, like you talk about. Quarterback, Laramie Thompson with left tackle.
Yeah.
Will Anderson at defensive end, so edge rusher, cornerback.
Yeah.
The most important premier positions they've got.
And for better or worse, they've paid their tackles.
Yeah.
And for better or worse. But I'm talking like just position-wise, they got them.
And they do have at least 2 wide receivers that you feel like can carry you. The issue is you know that you need more than 2.
Yeah, and you also should try to get better. Like you should try to get better at wide receiver. Seattle was an example that I use. Like they drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba last year. They had Metcalf and Lockett. So I mean, you can just.
You just don't want to get into the habit of bad money.
I think
you can get away with it,
and that's my point.
But
Lopez,
you don't want to get into the habit of it.
I don't feel like I guess I would disagree about even against the idea of Mike Evans being bad money. I think he's like we watched him play last year.
Well, we don't know the price first of all,
and that's the issue. We don't know the price, but he's very good last year. I'd be it's not my money, but I'm going to spend somebody else's money here. I'd be willing to pay a premier player premier money. I mean, this is what it costs to have a player of this caliber. We got the money. Bring them on in. I'd be down to do it. But I think the difference in us, you and I, Lopez, is, hey, if you're telling me you're going to assign Saquon Barkley, okay, that fixes a lot of different things. Your run game, it brings an element to your pass game. All right, maybe you don't necessarily need to overspend on Mike Evans per se.
Yeah.
But if you can get Derrick Henry on the cheap or somebody else that you Austin Eckler, I don't know, somebody that you like on the cheap per se, then go ahead and throw that money at Mike Evans. I mean, I think it can still be smart money even though he's a little older.
The best combo would be Derrick Henry and Mike Evans because I think he's going to sign like a 1-year deal.
That's where I'm at. That's what time I'm on.
I don't know whether he is or not.
Maybe a 2. Maybe
Saquon would be more than 1 year.
Saquon, I just see the Christian McCaffrey comparison a lot. Like I hear what he is, and I just feel like those were the exact same questions about McCaffrey. By the way, Saquon, we got some news on Saquon in the hits. It's we'll see.
I just keep thinking like with Derrick Henry, I just feel like you can do a 2-year deal and throw him a bunch of money up front.
A little bit bonus.
Just be like, hey man, you're Derrick Henry. Here's a bunch of money right here.
Yeah.
Let's go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, Derrick Henry.
Come on, man.
Lord. God,
do it.
It'd be kind of weird.
Man,
be a little bit weird.
That's what time I'm on. That's what time I'm on. I think they can do it now. You talked about needs. I don't know. You said safety. I'm looking at like the defensive line.
Middle of the second and third level is what I'm talking about. Either another inside linebacker to complement Christian Harris or a badass safety.
Yeah. You know something else that kind of nobody's talking about, like when you talk about where the Texans were to where they are. I think that Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram photo that went viral, where they're standing by each other.
Oh.
I think it's kind of proportional to where the Texans would have been, where they were right here, like with in the Easter years, and now they're all of a sudden they're up here. It would be like that
great.
That video would be like proportional of where the Texans are,
and they literally could be.
That would be like the most. That would be like the most appropriate photo ever.
It is a nice before and after, like bottom, short bottom
Ingram
of the league,
has to hate that
top of the league.
so much.
I mean, to be fair though, I know Mark's not very tall, but Derrick Henry is
a D end.
Yeah. You're not. I don't think you're supposed to look like that.
No, you're not. I don't think anyone is.
No. Yeah. Bring him to my team.
That's B.Scott in the building here on In the Loop.